Cuba, it's me. Welcome to episode 300 of the W.I.L.L.I.W show. That's right, 300 episodes in 300 days. I'd like to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. That means I have 65 episodes left of my daily W.I.L.L.I.W show. Then I'll take a bit of a break, and then I'll come back with, like weekly episodes or something like that. It's been a lot of fun. There's been some great episodes, there's been some horrible episodes. But, I'm just proud of myself for getting it done. I mean, I always think, oh, something's going to happen. What if the power goes out and I can't upload my video? Or, like, for a while there I moved and I didn't have internet, so I had to go to the library to upload it. Or, like, to the McDonald's to upload a video and, like, stuff like that. And some of those, it's hard, and some of it's very slow, so you're waiting forever. But I believe in myself. If I say I'm going to do something, I stick to it. And I even did a couple backup episodes just in case something happened, which I've used those up. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's watched the show, who's commented on the show, who's let me interview them on the show, who's held the camera for me to do my show. Anybody that's contributed a shirt to the wall or a figure, like all weighed there. And it's been a really great time. I've actually really enjoyed doing the show, and I don't like talking. But the response it's gotten, I may not got that many views. I got like 6,000 views out of 300 episodes, which isn't bad. I mean, it's just a small little niche category I'm going through. No, not really many people know about it, except for people that are my Facebook friends, and I have like 400 of those. So I'm doing well for what it is. I'm practicing speaking, and I'm getting better at it. Sometimes I stutter. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying. A lot of times I'm unprepared. I don't have a lot of time to do the show, so I think of a topic, hit record, and just wing it, and, that's what happens. But, I'm proud of it, and like I said, there's been some horrible episodes, but the comments blow me away. Sometimes I get like 100 comments on a Facebook post, and then I only get like 4 views on the videos, but you know what? Those comments make my day, and I'm just very grateful for them. So, I mean, I was like, what am I going to do? I should do like the W.I.L.L.I.W Awards, but there's only like 4 awards that I can even give away. So yeah, I will do that. The top 10 best commenters on my videos on any form of social media. They can comment on Facebook. Sometimes I even post them on Twitter, very rarely. Or some people actually comment on the actual YouTube video. So here is my top 10 best commenters who comment either frequently or when they do, they give really great comments, very detailed, very good ones. And I just appreciate, I feel like when you comment, that you're supporting me. Like, that's what I take from it. And not only that, when you comment, it bumps it up to the top of the social media thread. And, like, then it gets more eyes on it and stuff like that. And I feel like it's a cosign a little bit. Like, you know what? I'll mess with this guy. Like, for me, when I comment on someone's Facebook thing, I'm like, kind of like, hey, I'm giving you props, like, and that's how I feel. So the top 10, number 10 of the best commenters is Mike Delketti. This guy's been around a long time. I interviewed him on the show, Hitman for Hire Mike Fortune. Check that out. But he always comes through. He has well-written comments. He feels his certain way about certain things, and he's entitled to his opinion. But he's always respectful of the way he does it, and I always appreciate hearing what he has to say. And that's one thing also, like, I'll break away before I get into the other 9, is I love how a lot of times I'll go on, like, these wrestling sites, and they'll have, like, these debates, or they'll, like, have a topic that they're talking about, and people are being mean to each other, or it's okay to disagree, but I find on my threads, everyone's been really respectful. People have different opinions, but they don't say anything nasty to each other. Everyone seems to get along, and I've just been really blessed that I haven't had any drama from the W.I.L.L.I.W show. That's definitely what I didn't want to do. So number 9 of my best commenters would be Mike Lutz. Mike Lutz. I don't know if I'm saying it right. He's been around for a while as well. He's wrestled for a long time. He told me recently that he's going to retire. He's got a bunch of side projects, too. He's got, like, the movie podcast, and he's got the blog, and then he's got this new, I don't even know what to call it. I don't know if it's like a magazine or a newsletter or something like that. But he's a frequent commenter. He hasn't been doing as much, but I mean, I'm looking at the whole 300 episode scopes, and he's one of my most frequent commenters, and I always appreciate when he comments, and I usually agree with what he has to say as well. Number 8 would be Bill Scullion. He doesn't comment all the time, but he's usually like a once a week kind of guy. He's consistent. Always every once in a while he'll pop up, and he always sends me nice private messages as well. But when he does comment, it's usually something so outrageous, and he's not like everybody else who's scared to like embarrass themselves or say stories about themselves. He puts it all out there, and it always makes me entertain and chuckle that he would tell me these stories, and I love him for it. Number 7 would be Lefty Grivet, and I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I know him as Lefty. Everybody else knows him. He's a good guy. He shares every single Willow Show post that I do and likes it. Man, and he doesn't comment that much, but when he does, he's very honest, and for him to share and like every post I make, that says something a lot about the guy. I consider him a true friend before and after the Willow Show comes and goes, and he's always been great to me, been great to my cameraman. I love his family, and just the fact, like, I say I'm gonna do an episode every day for a whole year. For him to like stick to his guns too and share every time, man, it really means a lot to me, and I can't thank him enough. Number 6, Wade Buswell. Now, I didn't even meet Wade until I think it was the first Hagersville show, maybe even the second I think it was the first Hagersville show. So he came around when I was probably at least 100 episodes in. It's weird because a lot of times I'll go to bed and I'll read all the comments, and sometimes I love when I have time that I can reply back to everybody's comments. But a lot of times I'll wake up in the morning, or I'll be getting ready for work, and the next day Wade has commented on the episode from the day before, right? And I find it's funny too. Sometimes I'll have like an episode that I did 2 days ago, and it's still like blowing up in social media, and people are commenting on it. Meanwhile, I've done 2 or 3 more episodes, and they're still hanging on to this one. And it's like, man, if I didn't have to do an episode every day, I could really have this popping, but I always got to move on to the next. But Wade has given me these 2 Jake the Snake figures. He's given me the Jake the Snake shirt. And like I said, he always comments, and I love how he's just like me. He's always very positive, and he always has something nice to say. He looks for the good in everybody and everything in wrestling, and I really do like that too. So now we're into the top 5 commenters, and I'll have to put Derek Paul Sharp. He can be annoying. Like once he's persistent on something, he's not gonna stop. And but I love him for it. I love how he speaks his mind and he gets into it, and that makes me feel proud of my Willow show, because he makes it seem important. And most of the time I agree with him. Sometimes I don't, but the times I don't agree with him, it's really hard not to, because he presents great cases and explanations for why he feels that way and stuff. And yeah, so he's definitely in the top 5. Number 4, Prieston Tiberius Exontridius. And he only came around probably in the last 3 months. And but he started being a frequent commenter, and man, this guy's very intelligent. And when he has something to say about a topic, I don't think I've ever disagreed with him. He always has something to add, and then like sometimes you'll have like 20 comments and people are saying the general thing. Sometimes he'll just come with something out of left field, and you're like, hey, I didn't even really think about it that way. Very smart guy. He's been around. He knows the business very well, and I really appreciate him. Then there's number 3, old school Jim Connolly. I feel like when he comments on my page, it gives like some credibility to me. Like sometimes I get the guys that people are like, oh, who's this guy or whatever. Like they may not know him, but to me, I think everybody knows old school. His name on Facebook is Jim Connolly. He has his old school page, but when he comments, it's usually on his personal one. And him as well, he's very positive. I don't think he's ever said anything negative about somebody. And he grasps the concept of the Willow Show, and he always has a different opinion. And because he's like in it right now, he sees things differently than some do. And whenever he does decide to comment on a Willow post, it's usually something that people want to read. Number 2, I would say, would be Mike Shea. Now, this guy's helped me out in the past. He gave me some of my first wrestling bookings back in like, I can't remember, it was like 2002, 2003 era, somewhere around then. And he used to come to the wrestling school, he would do ref, and then he started his own show. But man, this guy knows his history. And when he talks about something, I'm blown away. Like, how does this guy know so much and in such great detail? And he's always educating me as well as the rest of the viewers of it. And the funniest thing is, I'll kind of sidetrack here a bit. A lot of people, they don't comment, and everything's public. So even if you're not my friend, you can go and watch everything or read everything too. And a lot of people that don't comment or pretend they don't watch the Will Show, or they just actually don't, love to read the comment threads. And Mike Shea, when you read his comment, you have been educated. And my number one commenter, here it is, Harry D. I just love this guy. He's been around so long. He's been around the best of the best. He's got amazing stories to share. And when he goes in on a comment, he goes all the way in, and he doesn't hold back, and he's not just like yes or no. He'll tell you why. He'll tell you when, where, what, when, how, all those things. And I feel like what I said before about the credibility thing, when he comments on him, I'm just like, wow, I've made it. Harry D's commenting on my thread. Shout out to honorable mention Gordo. Gordo doesn't comment that much. He was one of the very first supporters of the W.I.L.L.I.W show when I first put it out. And a lot of times he doesn't get a lot of time on the internet, or maybe I don't have interesting topics. But when Gordo does comment, it's just like, yes, Gordo, love you, buddy. Okay, so what's coming up in the future for the W.I.L.L.I.W show? I definitely, like I said, I have 65 more shows in 65 days. And then I'm not closing the W.I.L.L.I.W show, but I will take a break. And then I'll come back whenever I have some interesting topic to talk about, or a show to review, or if I'm wrestling, I'll always will tell you about where you can see me in action and stuff like that. I'm going to be doing a promotion spotlight. Like, I don't know if you've been checking it out, but the last week and a half or so, I've been doing provincial spotlights on each province in Canada and putting them over. Well, I kind of like doing that, and I want to do a promotion spotlight. I'm going to do every single promotion in Ontario. I'm going to research it. I'm going to find out as much as I can, and I'm going to just say who's the main guys there, who runs it, what's some of the best matches they've had, how long they've been in business, what city they run in, and just do as much as I can and put over every promotion in Ontario. And I'm going to do BC as well, because just BC has got such a special place in my heart. I do have some more interviews lined up. I've done like about 5 or 6 in-depth interviews. I started by doing just the quick ones at the show, where I would only have 5 minutes with someone, but it was always so noisy, or people were playing music, or getting ready for the match, or the fans were in. So I'm like, I want to do them like those shoot interviews. So I started doing the sit-down ones here in the W.I.L.L.I.W studio. And I love them, and I'm surprised they didn't get more views, because I just felt they were so well done. Thank you to everybody, whether it be 5 minutes or an hour, that took the time and let me interview them. I just love those. I love getting to know people's stories, and I wish people would want to ask me the same questions. But I do have a couple more interviews that will be coming up in the future here. For an award, I guess I'll give another W.I.L.L.I.W award, because the best commenter award went to Harry D. The best interview award would be Sarge, Scott McEwen. Everybody's story was great. I loved all the interviews, like I said. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. Same with the top 10 commenters. There's a lot more than those 10. I'm trying to give an awards here, so there's going to be people left out, yes. But the reason I thought Sarge's, I just felt it was way different. He's been around longer than other people. He's had different experiences, different lifestyle choices, and I knew a lot about some of the other people I interviewed, where him, I really knew nothing, and I think that's why it just really exceeded my expectations. Another award on the W.I.L.L.I.W show, best run-in in a video, in a W.I.L.L.I.W episode. I would have to say, I was doing some interviews in Hagersville, and Tomer Shalom, he also wrestled on Raw as Rene Goulet. I was interviewing someone, I think it was Freedom Wallace, and he had to get past to go for his match, and he's like, I can't believe you have a fucking YouTube show. It was just, I found it really funny, and I was gonna interview him later that night, but I didn't have a chance to as the battery ran low. Strangest video that's been on the Willis Show, definitely got to go with the Hipstar interview. I tried to interview Hipstar. He just kind of went off and did his own thing. It was funny, strange as well. I do not know what that guy was on, but whatever he was on, I want some of it. But it was definitely the strangest video, because I don't do a lot of strange videos, but I appreciate him for doing it. Some underrated videos that I did. I really felt like the ones I did, the tributes. They don't, like, a lot of people, when it's their birthday, if they have a special place in my heart, I'll do a tribute on them. And a lot of people have actually said to me in person, like 4 or 5 people that I've done tributes for, that my tributes actually bring tears to their eyes. And that's why I do it. I wish someone would do that for me. And I hope maybe they won't do that, but at least when I die, I hope that I'll get that. But to me, I learned it from the Drink Champs. I wanted to give them their flowers while they can smell them and their trees while they can inhale them, and just let them know how I feel about them now instead of waiting until they're dead to tell them. And I was just like, you know what? I'm only doing this show for a year. I'm gonna do that way. But I also I was surprised the Highlanders and the Ty Dillinger stories didn't get a lot, because I knew them from the very beginning, and they both made it to WWE. And I thought those ones would have got more interest and more views, but everyone probably just thought I was trying to piggyback off their fame, which is understandable. Also, I did 6 parts of the list of questions where anybody can ask me any question as long as it has to do with wrestling. Those were really fun. I really love doing those ones. And I'm also really surprised that that they didn't catch on. Like, that I mean, they did really well. They actually are some of my best episodes, but I mean, I just thought that I would start maybe even doing it weekly, but then I was like, I'll probably be overdoing it if I do that. Also, check out episode 85. That's one of my personal favorite episodes. Episode 85 of The Willis Show talks about all the wrestling songs I wrote. I spent a lot of time. I love writing like rap songs or whatnot, and I spent a lot of time writing a lot of different wrestling songs over the years. And everything I say is true. As far as I know, everything I've said on every episode of The Willis Show is true, unless I just read something wrong on the internet. But that episode really has a near and dear place in my heart. And I'm surprised nobody viewed it, but, you know, I'm really not surprised anymore, because sometimes I'll do episodes that I think are going to get a great response, and they don't. And then sometimes I do episodes that I'm just like, I have nothing else to talk about, and they get amazing responses. So, I mean, I say I'm surprised, but I'm really not surprised, because I always expect the unexpected. But I guess I was just hoping that episode would get more views, because it was so important to me. And speaking of wrestling songs, I even did like this little freestyle, which is episode 132. It's called the Who I Am freestyle, and I really spent a lot of time trying to make this really good. And I don't think I even got any comments. No one was interested, but I thought I did a really good job on it. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe just no one had interest. No one wants to hear, I guess, someone sing a rap song with no music behind it. But it was about wrestling, so I thought it was pretty cool. So now, I did all the awards. There's not really much else to say, but I will do this. The top 10 most viewed episodes of The Willis Show. So, let's go to number 10 would be, I did what was called the episode, I can't talk here. Sorry, it's been about 20 minutes here. It's got to be. I don't got to watch on. But anyway, so number 10, I did an episode profiling some of the best fans I know. And that episode got 76 views. That episode is in 10th place. Then there was an episode I did entitled Sex in Wrestling. And that's in number 9th place with 79 views. And then I did a bunch of Ike Shaw videos. I think I did like 4 of them or 5 of them. The very first one I did, that one got 80 views, and that's at number 8 of my top 10 most viewed videos. Number 7, I did this episode, sorry, this wasn't even on The Willis Show. I completely got my facts wrong. I just did my top 10 most viewed episodes on my channel, and this wasn't even an episode. This was a song I wrote, Casey Spinelli tribute song. Before I started doing The Willis Show, I had a bunch of songs that I uploaded, and they were tribute songs for wrestlers. And when I clicked on analytics, I just did top 10 most viewed videos. Well, at number 7 was Casey Spinelli with 82 views. So I guess it wasn't really an episode of The Willow Show. I apologize for that. It didn't even sink in when I was writing them down, but so there it is. And the number 6 most viewed episode. Now I feel like it's not really true, but whatever. I did an interview with Nick Watts in Hagersville, and that got 90 views. Proud of that. I guess Nick Watts is best for business. So then number 5, Eddie Osborne interview. That got 91 views. So that's the 5th most viewed episode. The 4th most viewed episode would be Joey Allen. I did like a 4-part interview on Joey Allen. The first part got 109 views. And I'm surprised because the other 3 ones, they didn't get as much views, but I felt like it got way more interesting as it went along, but I guess people clicked on it and then they just didn't have time to keep going. It was a long interview. But yeah, part 1 of the Joey Allen is at number 4 with 109 views. In number 3, the 3rd place most viewed video, I did Women vs. Men in Wrestling, and that got 107 views. 107 views in 3rd place. Number 2, my number 2 most viewed episode on The Willow Show was my very first episode entitled Turn the Page. And that was just after the whole Paige had her things leaked and whatnot. And that got 133 views. And that's in 2nd place. My first most viewed video on The Willow Show is my interview with Beautiful Bia. I love Beautiful Bia. We both get along. We both see wrestling in the same light. We're very similar that way, and I'm just so grateful to have her on the show, as it is my number 1 video with 190 views. So that's it. That's my recap. Maybe it's not the most exciting thing, but I'm just proud of 300 episodes, so that's why I did it. But let's hear from you guys. As always, on The Willow Show, like her, you get a leg drop. Comment, or you get a clothesline. Subscribe, or you get a suplex. What was your favorite episode of The Willow Show? What episodes do you not like on The Willow Show? What kind of episodes would you like to see on the future? I'm your host, Elian Habanero. This is episode 300. I love wrestling. Cuba!